Since its inception, couple of months back, and now gaining grounds, the WFM radio station, founded to chart a new order for the women world in Nigeria, has come again to the limelight for the very good reasons. It is with this same vigor it has set on a journey to safeguard the interest of the feminine population through deliberate information gathering and dissemination that it has also pooled her resources together to showcase as a formidable broadcast station to reckon with in this climb. Customary in the media, being the fourth estate of the realm, it is a norm to make the leadership class accountable to the public in order to help appreciate work done or otherwise seek better approach to doing them. This was the path towed by the WFM radio station, a purely women-dedicated broadcast station for the hosting of the Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, recently. At the Arepo, Ogun State headquarters of the radio station, it was a memorable date of mingling with the right links in the corridors of power, and this was done as a way to further appreciate the generally acclaimed advocacy campaign which the radio station has begun in favor of the women folk. The Information Minister, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who was well received by the management and staff of the WFM radio station, ably led by the founder, Mrs. Tom Okewale Shonaya, was conducted round the facility to enable the minister appreciate the extent of work done to chart a far-reaching course for the women folk. The WFM radio, dedicated to women and their families, is also totally given to free medical consultation and a commercially run broadcast enterprise which is not going back on its mandate to ensure that women are given a pride of place since it was set on the go. The visit of the Minister of Information had a live broadcast chat where he also encouraged the management and staff to cue into the change mantra of the current administration. Hinting on the state of the nation as it centers on the need of giving a new orientation for all Nigerians, he beamed light on that aspect with a sense of duty.
Can we really fight corruption?
We can.
We can.
I think it's about leadership, I believe sincerely. I told the story this afternoon that the tradition in Nigeria is that the moment you are nominated a minister, you look for between 100 million naira and 200 million naira to get confirmation. And in time past, even the government will supply this money to give senators.
Okay.
This time around, no single minister paid 1 penny to anybody to get confirmed. So you can see that, and that's because of leadership.
Another thing that worries every Nigerian is the issue of insurgency. You know, insurgency is a big thing. And for us here, you know, we keep talking about the Chibok girls every day. Would the girls be found? Do you think we can find them?
We will do everything to find the girls. But you see, when I was much younger, when your cattle gets missing, the following day, very early in the morning, you start tracing the path to see where the cattle has gone. Unfortunately, we allowed that window of opportunity to go. For almost 20 days, Nigeria was living in denial that the girls were actually kidnapped or not. Now, that's actually complicated issues. But I can assure you that, you see, we know that governance is continuum, and we do everything possible within our powers to find where these girls are and return them back to their families.
And hopefully the other girls that are missing that we don't know and nobody knows them. Sir, I'd like to thank you very much for honoring, you know, when we contacted you, you know, we just sent the letter. We didn't even know that you would acknowledge the letter. That for me is a height of humility, and we're very, very honored, sir.
The chat with the Information Minister, which later settled for a media briefing, dissected pertinent issues, some of which were the loopholes in the judicial system as regard fighting corruption, the release of the missing Chibok girls, and other national issues. In the remarks of the chairman, Dr. Okewale, WFM Radio 91.7, he poured accolades on the federal government, which has shown a great concern to women affairs with exemplary visit by the Minister of Information. With the pride of place the WFM radio station is occupying in the broadcast space, the chairman is certain that the objectives which the station stands to achieve will definitely be on its list of accomplished undertaking. In a way to redress some of the problems the women folk are faced with, he called for the revamping of the National Orientation Agency, whose duty it is to help build and implement the right attitude to life as a nation.
The issue of corruption, sir, and the place of women. For every diverted fund meant to provide water, health center, or good roads to a community, the section of the society that bears the greatest brunt is the women and the girl child. They are the ones who trek hundreds of kilometers to fetch water or firewood for the household, or who travel long distances for the basic health facilities. It is in the light of this that we commend the current war against corruption, and we pledge our full support towards eradicating or reducing to the barest minimum the systemic corruption in the country.
In his response, the Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, admitted the integral role the radio stations stand to play in Nigeria, accepted that there is always a rife in vulnerability of women in times of adversity. The time is long overdue to have such radio station to voice out against the injustices meted out to them. Hence, it will further forestall any such occurrence for the good of all. He also intimated everyone present at the ministerial briefing with the programs of action of the federal government in birthing the change agenda of the current administration. This included the provision of social facilities and favorable opportunities to making life a luxury worth living for.
Between 1999 and today, our national budget has been increasing every year. But so also has poverty. 1999, the national budget was 946 billion naira. Today is 6 trillion naira. Yet poverty has increased and not decreased. And that's because of corruption. You see, if you want to know whether a government is doing well or not, you ask only 3 questions. 1, what has happened to poverty? What has happened to unemployment? What has happened to disparity between the haves and the haves? If the answer is that there has been more poverty, more employment, and the gap has widened, that government is not doing well. That is one of the things this government is trying to do, is actually to address those 3 issues. Move people massively out of poverty. How do we intend to do this? We intend to do this using the 500 billion naira we put aside for social intervention. This money is to help women, artisans, unemployed youth through their various cooperatives to start a life of their own.
In a question and answer session held, members of the media in the audience sought clarification on few topical issues in need of attention.
It's a follow-up to the MD's question on EFCC, because that question I actually asked it at this morning show, and I was going to follow up with funding is a major problem, because yesterday the chairman of Code of Conduct Bureau came out to say that the problem of funding is a very serious challenge, and from my investigation there are about 95 cases before Code of Conduct Bureau, and none of them has been concluded, including the case of the Senate President, Olubukola Saraki.
Let's take the issue of funding. Oh yes, both EFCC and ICPC, they need better funding. No doubt about it. Between 2006 and 2013, only 48 billion naira was budgeted for EFCC. And they expect them to recover 1.34 trillion naira. Now, if you look at the lawyers representing the FCC and the lawyer representing the accused persons, you see clearly that there isn't any balance. You see, with stolen funds, you can hire the best lawyers. Whereas the FCC, because of its budget, cannot afford the kind of lawyers these accused police hire. So yes, we need better funding. But beyond that, we need a change in our moral attitude. Every lawyer, every judge must put country before self. It takes an average of 34 days to 10 years to to complete prosecuting a low-profile corruption case. Or it takes between 7 years at infinity to prosecute a high-profile corruption case. Why? Because the high-profile accused people have so much money, they can hire the best lawyers. And these lawyers are also full of tricks in their bags, and they can seek adjournment to the extent that some of them have been granted perpetual immunity against prosecution. So it needs an attitude, and we must change our attitude, all of us. Yes, there are many problems that EFCC faces today, ranging from even capacity to staffing, even to their own internal problems. But majorly, the problems they are facing today is that the march is uneven between those they are supposed to prosecute and them.
I've been in business for almost about 28 years, doing the same thing, slow and steady. And in my grown-up years, I know that we used to produce fabrics from Nigeria, cotton produced from Nigeria. And most of the industries right now, they're all grounded. We have become a consuming nation and no longer a producing nation. I want to know, sir, is there anything going to happen to the textile industry? Because we have a whole lot of very talented young people in the industry. And the way they're coming in every day, the polytechnic, the universities, they turn out close to about 200 students, graduates of fashion. And at the end of the day, because there's nowhere to absorb them.
The time was that the entire economy of the former northern Nigeria was around textile industry. Kaduna then had more textile industry than any other city. And we had in Asaba, we had in Enugu, we had in Lagos. Our women were employed. I come from a village where they made their money as traders. What happened? And they were not imported. They were manufactured locally here. But wrong economic policies killed these industries. And even when the government, I think about 5-6 years ago, I think made available about 100 billion naira to revive the industry. What happened? It was shared among some people. Now, I know that the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, I think, spoke about this. But I know that part of the focus and emphasis of this government is to revive the textile industry.
Straight to the point, sir. The Chibok girls. Without beating around the bush, we know that this is a very, very, very sensitive subject, not only to women, not only to fathers, but to our nation. We saw the other day on the media chat when the president was very honest and said that he really doesn't know if they are in Sambisa forest. That was a few weeks ago. Could you kindly give us an update, especially with regards to the fact that we saw some women and men, mothers and fathers crying just a few days ago in Asoro, you know. And last question, sir. People on Facebook want to know why you do not have a lady on amongst your aides.
I'll tell you why I don't have any female yet. It is because the regulations are a bit not too flexible. Really, you need special dispensation from Mr. President to even bring in your own personal aides. You are supposed to inherit aides from the ministry. But because we are politicians, and because of the nature of my portfolio, I had to ask for special dispensation from the President to allow me the kinds of aids that I have.
Last week, or 2 weeks thereabouts, there was so much buzz about the budget. From the Senate to the presidency. I want to ask, did the presidential aide, Itahena, did he swap the budget? Did he do anything wrong? And is there any penalty? Or is it just all about noise? Then secondly, commendable as your visit to critical sectors in the ministry, to your ministry card. I want to know what efforts are you making to ensure the cyberspace in Nigeria is clean, especially with bloggers. Some people just stand up one day and they start, writing all sorts. In other climes, even if you say something that is uncomplimentary to the government or the president, they get, punished for it. What are you doing about this? Then I also want to ask Mrs. Tom, what are the challenges you are facing running WFM? Thank you.
I think it's just communication gap and pure and simple. You see, budgets are drafts. They don't become law if they are passed. And at every point in a budget, there is room for both parties to make amendments. What I suspect happened, or there was communication gap between the executive and the legislative. Those who have been saying, go and impeach the president, I think that's also very active. I mean, not a minute, it's not as if the oil has been passed into law, it was changed. But I think it's purely communication gap. But then you raise the issue of cyberspace. You see, our position in government is that the social media has come to stay. We must live with it. Now, it's for those operators of social media to self-regulate. If they don't self-regulate, they will self-destruct. They will self-destruct, clearly. But any attempt by anybody to try and regulate it outside the body itself will be counterproductive. You end up driving them underground and they become more vicious. Now, what government can do, and this is what you have been appealing to those social media activists, is that please don't hesitate to ask us for information. But what we have to do is that they set the agenda themselves for themselves. And sometimes it's something they know little or nothing about. For instance, it was 2 days ago, it they said that Buhari is going to go on 91 day leave. And it was trending. And as I said, where is your story? But the truth of the matter is that today, the social media is so powerful. And that's why they be very careful. My own daughter believes social media than she believes. When I said to me, I am the Minister of Information. And she said, Daddy, but it's not on the social media. I said, no, I am the, sorry, that's my daughter. I said, me, I'm the Minister of Information. I should be able to tell you that this is a story. That's how powerful social media is. But if they do not self-regulate, they will self-destruct. Thank you very much.
To this, Alhaji Lai Mohammed did the needful to put the mind of everyone to rest concerning what the government is doing. In the words of the founder, Mrs. Toun Shonaya, she divulged the challenges being faced by the young WFM radio station. Some of those are the shoddy services from providers, which can only make such serious business as broadcasting a Herculean task. She, however, pleaded with the minister to help extend the frontiers for a favorable environment for profitable business.
We're very young. It took us many years to get to where we are. But in a month, we're very grateful to the way, people have embraced and have supported us. People that you do not know, those you know, everybody just, pull their heads together. They want us to survive because this is new. This is a novel thing we're doing. We have people phoning us from outside Lagos. Our coverage area is Ogun State. As you know, we're in Ogun State and Lagos State. But we have people calling us all over. And I'm hoping, sir, that in a short term, we would be able to have licenses to operate in the northern part of Nigeria, to operate in South, so that we can reach especially the rural areas, the women in the rural areas. That is our core target audience, the women, the girls, especially in the rural areas where, like the chairman said, we have our transistor radios. The transistor radio has got a lamp. So if electricity is not there, they can use a lamp to read and also to hear another girl similar to them talking. Same with the women in the village, We want them to know the cost of rice in Kuto market. And then we want to know the cost of rice in Oshodi market. The same way we want to know the cost of rice in another village in Kubwa. So I'm hoping, sir, it's not a short-term thing for us. We want to have more licenses to hit the whole of Nigeria. So if we can move closer to Port Harcourt, because we know you don't give licenses in Port Harcourt, and then closer to Abuja, so that we can kind of target all the geopolitical zones of Nigeria. That is our wish.
Prince Bisi Olatinlo, who made it a date to the radio station earlier than the scheduled visit of the minister, gave his views on how the management and staff of the new on-the-scene radio station can make the pasture on which it was founded a more greener one. From his hands-on experience on the broadcasting job, it is paramount that the station finds a niche for itself in tandem with world-acclaimed broadcasting standards. A female anchor was on hand to do justice to that beat.
And I have the rare privilege today to have a veteran broadcaster with me, Bisi Olatinlo. He's been 41 years in the business. It's very exciting to have you here with me today. How are you, sir?
Thank you very much. A pleasure to be here too, myself.
You were talking about broadcasting in your day. What do you think has changed now?
I don't think we should just throw the baby in the bathwater. You guys have done your bit, but I want you to be more original. Quite a lot of us don't speak the way we should be speaking. We like to ape people who are not even the ones we're supposed to be aping, and you lose it at the end of it. So, if you try to be original, we started on that premise. We had to be original, and in those days we were always happy to work. But I see these days people do it grudgingly. They're not. Is it that you don't enjoy what you're doing? And in those days, there's nothing at all, like you could call the incentive. We just drew incentive. We just drew inspiration from seeing ourselves work, I mean, John Momo, for instance, the other day when I had a little thing and I asked him to come and talk about broadcasting and success tips of running a media enterprise. And he went to town, took the whole world around, how we started. Exactly what I was saying here. That there was nothing that was moving us other than, first of all, the camaraderie, being amongst yourselves, and learning new things. Because if you undergo the kind of training we underwent in FRCN, you'll be brushed up in every aspect of broadcasting. In fact, we were mimicking ourselves. We say we are jack of all trades and master of everything. And it's paying off today. I write a script. I could be, a DJ. I've done that before. I present programs. I produce. And what else? So we've done everything. And I hope that this will inspire some of you. And let me say this, broadcasting is not about money. That is where people begin to miss it. They talk about it has to be money. No. Most of the guys I mean, you heard what Tom was saying about me. I couldn't even believe I was being spoken about. Is it that I have the money? No, but Yorubas have a proverb that will drive it home even more forcefully. Yorubas say, we don't even have to pay for this. We get it everywhere. And people say, why have you not been given the national honor? And I say, I get my honor every day. Even coming here now, I didn't know this place. It's the first time I was coming here. We were directed here by somebody who just saw my face and said, let's go. And I get that every day. To be honest with you, I hope that the younger ones would listen to this and take a cue from it. I mean, look at Tone here. Look at the kinds of people that she brought together when she was launching the station. For God's sake, it can only take somebody who has a lot of respect from all the different publics to have been able to get the kind of crowd, audience she had together for that event. And she's been telling me that it's been all. She's saying, "Wake me up." It's like a slumber thing, because everywhere she goes to, doors get open because she's laid the foundation for it.
The vote of thanks was given by the founder, WFM Radio 91.7, Mrs. Stone Sonaya, who also brought the hosting of the Information Minister to a close.